And welcome back to Speaking of. So, I'm curious to know, in our great newfound fame, how long have we been on the air? A month? Has it been a month yet?
Couple of days.
All goes by so fast.
It does.
Have you been recognized by anybody yet?
Well, oddly, I have been not recognized by people who actually know me.
Really, me too!
Right? But that just seems to always happen.
Yes.
But speaking of being recognized, well, first, this is kind of what I imagine it to happen when our first, when we have our first, like, we've been cited.
Yes,
Okay.
by somebody that we don't know.
Right. So this is what I imagine to happen. And it's funny because this actually happened to us once, but imagine it happening
Excuse me.
under the guise of us thinking that these people recognize us because of our show. So Jared and I are on our way into the Target, okay? And we're walking on the sidewalk to walk into the Target. And this car pulls up and kind of stops, and the people in the car are waving. And we're looking at each other, we look at them, we look at each other like, do we know them? I don't think so. Hi! And then we turn around and see that there are people behind us.
No, you're forgetting. The woman in the car says to us, I'm waving to the people behind you.
Did she really say that?
She did.
So sad.
So then we turned around and we're like,
And sure enough, there's people behind us. That's kind of what I imagined it to be. Look, we're being recognized. Oh, that's your mom. Travesty. Oh my goodness. But speaking of being recognized,
yes,
I've had a couple.
That was a good story, but I thought you were going to go with a different.
Well, I have had a couple of incidents where I have been recognized in public places, but not in the way that you would imagine.
Right.
So, for instance, Jared and I went to a special viewing of, it was a Mystery Science Theater 3000.
What was that movie called? With the cult.
It was the, Manos, The Hands of Fate.
Oh, you should see
fantastic.
What's sad is that would have made a really good movie if it had been done like
with
in a
actual
real
actors.
way. Actual actors and actual special effects. It might have made sense.
Yeah, it was so bad that it was great. But, so I dragged Jared to this movie, first of all. Second of all, I drag him there because kind of early because I want to make sure we're on time, right? Well, so we get there and the movie's going to start at 7 and we're there and there's nobody in the theater. And we're thinking, really, no one's coming to this? That's strange. I mean, anyway, so no one's coming. Well, then this one girl comes in and she's kind of in the back behind us. We're sort of in the front.
And she's talking on the phone.
Well, no, wait. She's by herself. The movie hasn't started yet.
Right.
So she's on the phone and she's inviting a friend to come join her. At which point she says, yeah, it starts at 7:30. At which point Jared, he was mad.
I was
it
not.
Starts at 7:30.
We're sitting here. Go buy me some cheese fries. And she did.
I did. But, so we continue talking and we're laughing because that's what we do, right? And after a little while, from the back of the theater, I hear, Kate? Is that you? And it turns out it's a girl who I hadn't seen for at least a year and a half. A little bit more.
Wow. Did she serve a LDS mission?
She did.
So it had been a while.
So it had been at least a year and a half. And even then the last time I had seen her was briefly but yeah. So
she ended up being our movie buddy.
Yeah, she went with me to get the cheese fries.
Yes. Well, I guarded the seats because
it was so crowded.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the other people that joined.
Oh, the other people that came.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell this story, and as I tell this story, please appreciate the Star Trek t-shirt.
Oh, how apropos.
It is. So, this is what is sad. So, I'm sitting in there, and these people are talking. And first, now, remember...
when he says these people, he means like these serious
very sci-fi junkies and...
They're not cool people like us. They're weirdos. And they're sitting behind us. As if that's okay.
Well, no, and I had told you this, that I'm like, I just don't understand. I mean, I know that MST3K is funny and riff tracks are funny, but I didn't get the audience that it attracted. I really didn't.
Talk about an island of misfit toys.
It was like being at Comic-Con.
It really was. Minus the costumes.
Minus the costumes. If people had come dressed up, we would have been there. So it was there that I learned. And what's funny is I thought these people were lying. So
fact checked them.
I did.
I how do you feel about fact checking?
Phone. All of a sudden I hear these people saying, J.J. Abrams is going to be directing Star Wars. And I was just appalled because, hello, Star Trek. And the next movie's coming out.
There's a difference, people. Ask Tina Fey.
She'll know. But yeah, so they're talking and they get into this big thing about Star Wars and Star Trek that the internet has been going on and on about, and I can weigh in on at another time. But I really thought they were full of crap. So I'm getting out my phone and I'm checking, and sure enough, it was real. So we had that conversation going on. Then another conversation starts going about The Hobbit. And if The Hobbit can fight...
No!
Yeah, it was something, and I can't remember
Who
what...
are going to fight? Superman or The Hobbit?
No, that's what it was. It really was. And,
like, apparently we're back in elementary school.
And then it went to the merits of Peter Jackson directing, and I'm like, well, didn't he direct the
other Lord of the
original?
Rings, yeah.
So we're all good, but he's going to be too fancy and too many movies and blah, blah, blah.
Apparently it's like an election. There's only so many years you can make movies, and then you're done.
So yes. So then my very favorite is The First Date.
Oh, gosh. These two, this couple behind us. Not only were they trying so hard to impress one another, but
they were trying to impress us.
Well, and they were failing miserably, probably on all counts.
We were uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, their method of impressing each other was to like throw out as much nerd/geekness as they possibly like. They were almost.
And don't get me wrong, we
it.
will nerd and geek talk at some point on this show, but yeah.
But come on.
It was like peacocks showing the feathers.
They were seriously. They were pretty much competing with one another. I'm more of a nerd because check this out.
They were. So Kate's gone still, and I can't text message fast enough to say you've got to get back here. You've got to get back here now. And when you get back, don't talk. Just listen.
Oh, and did we?
And did we? But we had a hard time with that because then a nice older gentleman sits in front of us.
That guy, like
he was our new BFF.
Oh, and was he? Like we need more friends, but not that close.
Yeah, but he was the creepy kind of friend that you're just talking and all of a sudden he interjects something, tosses it over his shoulder. In fact, the first time he did it, I turned to you and said, "Is he talking to us?"
It's true. We weren't quite sure. Because, there are those people.
There are, and we're not exaggerating when we say, and we're not, trying to be egotistical or anything when we say, people come up and just start talking to us. It happens.
It does happen.
Oh, I'm exhausted. I need a break. So, on that note, we're going to take a break. Remember to comment, like, favorite, subscribe, tell all your friends. See you in a minute.